Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Thank you for tuning in today to this life-changing episode of the Denzel Washington podcast. I am beyond thrilled that you're here because what we're about to explore has the potential to not just change the way you see the world, but also to reshape the way you live your life. If you've ever found yourself feeling stuck, lost, or wondering if there's more to life than what you're experiencing right now, this episode is for you. Today, I want to talk about something so close to my heart, a subject that affects us all, 7 hidden signs that we both are thinking about each other. And the number one is you catch each other's eyes at the right moment. There's something incredibly powerful about a look shared between two people who are thinking about each other. It's not just a fleeting glance, it's a moment of connection that says more than words could ever do. It's like the universe aligns for a brief instant, and everything slows down when your eyes meet. In that second, the world around you might blur, and all that remains is the intensity of that gaze. You're not just looking at each other, you're understanding each other in ways that go far beyond anything you could speak aloud. It's as if in that brief moment, the connection between you becomes undeniable. When you catch their eye at just the right moment, it's like a spark is lit. It's not always the kind of look you'd expect. It doesn't have to be dramatic or overt. Sometimes, it's just a subtle shift in energy. The two of you might be in the same room amidst conversation, but when your eyes meet, everything else fades away. You might even notice a slight smile tugging at the corner of their lips or the way their gaze softens. It's a kind of recognition, one that bypasses all the noise and distraction around you, straight to the heart of what's unspoken. It's fascinating how this connection works. You might have never consciously planned it, but the fact that it happens consistently is something you can't ignore. When you share that look, it's not just a random coincidence. There's something deeper at play, a force that pulls you together, even when you're not actively trying to make it happen. It's a silent conversation between two people who know each other's thoughts and emotions without needing to articulate them. You feel it in the pit of your stomach, an unexplainable feeling that tells you this person is just as aware of you as you are of them. This look can occur in so many different contexts. Maybe it's when they walk into the room and you both instinctively look up, knowing that the other is right there. Or perhaps it's when the conversation is happening and for a split second, everything feels aligned, like a message is being exchanged with just the flicker of your eyes. It's the kind of thing that often leaves you with a strange sense of comfort, as if you're not really as alone as you thought. It's a recognition, not just of each other's physical presence, but of something deeper. It's the acknowledgement that you are both thinking about each other, even without words. What makes this exchange so profound is the fact that it doesn't need to be spoken. It's like a secret language, one that is built on shared experience and an unspoken understanding. You can feel it in the way your heart beats just a little faster when they look your way. There's a connection there, an energy that passes between you and can't be easily explained. It's not something that just happens with anyone, it's something that happens when two people are in tune with each other on a level that goes beyond the surface. This connection through eye contact is often the first clue that you're both thinking about each other. It's not just about catching someone's eye across the room. It's about the way you can sense the thought in their gaze. You know they're aware of you. You know they've noticed you just as much as you've noticed them. It's the kind of look that reassures you that the bond you share is real, even when neither of you is actively working to express it. And it's a look that, once it happens, you know it's not the last time. There will be more moments like that. More moments when the two of you lock eyes and everything else fades away. Because once you experience it, once you understand what it means, you'll never forget it. You can feel their presence even when they're not there. It's a strange sensation, one that defies logic. Yet, it's one of the most powerful signs that two people are deeply connected. Even if you're miles apart, there's an energy that lingers between you, a quiet force that makes it feel like they're still close. It's the kind of feeling that catches you off guard at times, but when it hits you, it's undeniable. You might be going about your day, caught up in your own thoughts or immersed in your own world, and suddenly, it's as if they're there with you. You feel them not physically, but emotionally. It's as if their spirit, their energy is still surrounding you, even if they're not physically present. Sometimes it's the little things that trigger this feeling. You might find yourself thinking about them at the most random of moments, or you might feel a sense of calm wash over you when you need it most, as if their presence is helping you through a tough situation. There might be times when you're in the middle of something and out of nowhere their name pops into your mind. And it's not just a fleeting thought, it's more like a sudden awareness, a knowing that they're thinking about you too at that very moment. It could be something as simple as hearing a song that reminds you of them, or seeing a familiar place that brings back memories of when you were together. But when it happens, you know that somewhere out there they're feeling something similar. You're both sharing a moment, even though you're not physically together. This connection runs deeper than mere coincidence. It's an instinct, a bond that's built over time and shared experiences. It's not always something that can be explained easily. It's more of a knowing, a certainty that even though they're not right next to you, they are still with you. There's a sense of comfort that comes with it, too. It's like knowing that you're not alone in this world, even when you're physically by yourself. It's the thought of them that brings you peace in the moments when you might feel uncertain. There's something about this presence that stays with you, something intangible yet incredibly real. It's the idea that even if you can't touch them or speak to them in the moment, you can still feel their influence in your life. Sometimes it's even more intense than just a passing thought. It's like their presence is so strong that it feels almost physical. Maybe you'll catch yourself smiling out of nowhere, and when you try to pinpoint why, you realize it's because of them. Or perhaps at a moment when you need guidance or strength, you'll suddenly feel a rush of reassurance as if they're there beside you, supporting you without saying a word. It's a powerful sensation because it reinforces the feeling that you're never truly apart. The connection between you isn't limited by distance or time. It's constant. It's present. This feeling can show up at the most unexpected moments. You could be having a quiet evening alone, reading or watching something, and suddenly you feel this overwhelming sense of their presence. Maybe it's a whisper in your mind or a sensation in your heart that tells you they're thinking about you just as much as you're thinking about them. It's a reminder that no matter how far apart you are, there's a thread connecting you, keeping you tethered to each other. It's a recognition that your hearts are still aligned, even in the moments when you're not physically close. What's even more incredible is how this presence doesn't always need to be acknowledged. You don't need to tell them you're thinking about them or that you feel them near. You simply know, and they know it too. This feeling is one of those things that can't be put into words. It's experienced, lived, and felt. The presence of someone you care about can linger in the air, creating an invisible bridge between you. Even in silence, even in solitude, you both share something that transcends the need for physical proximity. It's a deep, unspoken connection that keeps you close, no matter how far apart you may be. And the number 3 is you dream about them. You dream about them. It's one of the most profound signs that the connection between you is real and strong. Dreams are a gateway to the subconscious mind, and when someone occupies your dreams, it's more than just a random occurrence. Your subconscious doesn't hold on to things that don't matter. If someone is appearing in your dreams consistently, it's because they've made a significant impact on your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. It's as though in the quiet of the night, your mind is telling you something that your waking self can't quite express. They're on your mind when you're awake, but in your dreams, there's an even deeper connection that's at play. It's a reminder that they're always there, that their presence is felt, even when you're not consciously thinking about them. Dreams don't lie. When you dream about someone, it's not just a passing thought, not just a fleeting moment of connection. It's an expression of what's going on beneath the surface. Dreams are often our mind's way of processing unresolved feelings, emotions, and even desires. When you dream about someone, it's not just about their face or their presence. It's about the energy they bring into your life and how deeply you are intertwined with them, even when you're apart. Your dreams reflect the unspoken truths of your heart, things that might not be fully understood when you're awake, but are crystal clear when you're asleep. There's no filter in the world of dreams. It's raw, real, and unguarded. It's where your true feelings come to the surface, and when that person continues to appear in your dreams, it's a reflection of the bond between you two. You might dream about them in the most unexpected of ways. Perhaps it's a random encounter, one that feels vivid and intense, or maybe you find yourself in a situation with them that feels incredibly familiar. The emotions in these dreams are often more intense than anything you might experience in your waking hours. When you wake up, there's a sense of warmth or even longing that follows you. It's not just the dream itself, it's the aftermath, the lingering sensation that, even for just a moment, you were together, sharing something deep and personal. These dreams often feel real in a way that reality doesn't always measure up to. It's as though, for a brief time, you're transported into a world where your connection to this person is undeniable. Sometimes these dreams are also a way for your mind to resolve the unsaid, the unspoken words, and the hidden emotions that you may not have been able to express in waking life. If there's something unresolved between the two of you, it can manifest in your dreams, giving you a chance to confront those emotions without the limitations of real-world interaction. Your mind works through the pain, the joy, the confusion, and the clarity all in one night, sometimes all in a single dream. Even when you're not aware of it, your subconscious mind is at work, bridging the gap between what you want to say and what's been left unspoken. These dreams can bring clarity to situations that felt uncertain or unresolved when you were awake. In other cases, dreaming about them is just a clear reflection of how much you think about them when you're awake. Even if you try to push the thoughts aside or distract yourself, their presence continues to find its way into your dreams, telling you that, on a deeper level, they are still occupying your thoughts. It's your heart's way of acknowledging the significance they have in your life, reminding you that they hold a place within you that is undeniable, whether you're conscious of it or not. The emotional impact of these dreams is profound, often leaving you with a sense of longing, connection, or even a sense of peace, as though your soul understands on a deeper level that they are with you, even if they aren't physically by your side. These dreams are also incredibly personal. They may not always make sense in a logical way, but they resonate with you because they come from a place of truth. They reflect your inner world, showing you how deeply someone is embedded in your life, your thoughts, and your emotions. When someone appears in your dreams, it's a sign that on some level, you are connected in a way that's more than just surface-level interaction. There's a depth to this connection, a bond that is stronger than you may realize, and your dreams are the proof of that. And the number 4 is, you reach out when you least expect it. You mirror each other's actions. It's one of those subtle yet undeniable signs that you and the other person are on the same wavelength, even when you're not consciously trying to be. Have you ever noticed how, without thinking about it, you end up doing the same things at the same time? You might laugh at a joke at the same moment, take a step in sync, or even use similar phrases or expressions in conversation. It's not a coincidence. It's a deep, almost invisible connection that happens when two people are aligned, not just in thoughts, but in energy. This mirroring doesn't just occur in big moments. It shows up in the small, everyday actions that often go unnoticed by the world around you, but are felt intensely by both of you. Sometimes it can be something as simple as reaching for the same object at the same time. You both might be sitting across from each other, and out of nowhere, your hands move at the exact same moment to grab the same cup, pen, or piece of paper. It's a funny, almost magical feeling when that happens, because it's as if you've tapped into the same rhythm, the same flow. You're not even aware of it in the moment, but later, when you look back on it, you realize that you've been moving in unison. This mirroring doesn't need to be overtly obvious. It's subtle, yet it signals something much deeper. It's an instinctive understanding, a silent acknowledgement that you're connected in ways that aren't always seen or even explained. It's the same when you find yourselves using the same words or phrases, or finishing each other's sentences. One of you might start a sentence, and without even thinking about it, the other finishes it, almost as if it's second nature. There's no hesitation, no awkward pause, just a seamless flow that feels natural. It's a shared thought process, a mental connection that allows you to understand each other without the need for words. You don't have to communicate verbally for your minds to be in sync. Your thoughts, your desires, your reactions, they all align in a way that makes you feel like you've known each other for much longer than you actually have. It's the type of connection that builds over time, but once it's established, it becomes nearly impossible to ignore. You might also find that your energy levels mirror each other. Perhaps you both become excited about the same idea at the same time, or experience a shared moment of frustration or joy in the same way. This kind of energy mirroring can happen without either person making a conscious effort to match the other's mood. It's a natural occurrence that comes from being in tune with each other's feelings. Whether you're in a group setting or alone together, there's an undeniable sense that you are feeling the same things at the same time. It's not just about emotions, it's about the way those emotions are experienced. You're both resonating at the same frequency, moving through the same emotional highs and lows without needing to say a word. The physical aspects of mirroring can also show up in how you both move. You might notice that you stand in similar positions when you're together, or that you walk in the same rhythm without even trying. Even something as simple as the way you both hold your bodies can be an indication of how your energies have aligned. These mirrored actions are a reflection of something deeper happening on an energetic level. When you're in tune with someone, you don't need to coordinate or plan how you move in the world together. It just happens organically. It's as if your bodies are following the same cues, reacting to the same stimuli, and creating a harmonious flow between you. What's fascinating about this mirroring is that it's not just limited to the times you're physically together. It can occur when you're apart as well. You might find that at certain moments you both think of the same thing or take a similar course of action in your own lives without any prior discussion. It's like you've subconsciously learned to align your steps no matter the distance. The more you spend time with someone, the more these mirrored actions become part of your shared experience. And over time, they build an invisible thread that pulls you closer to each other. These mirrored moments are not just cute coincidences, they are signs of a deep and meaningful connection. They show that you're in tune with each other's energies, thoughts, and feelings. It's a subtle but powerful reminder that you both are thinking about each other, even when you're not actively trying to, and that the bond between you is rooted in something much deeper than surface-level interactions. It's a connection that exists even in the smallest of moments. And the number 5 is you reach out when you least expect it. You reach out when you least expect it. It's a peculiar and almost instinctual feeling when you sense that someone is on your mind so strongly, it compels you to reach out to them, sometimes without even fully understanding why. You might find yourself grabbing your phone, typing out a message, or dialing their number when everything inside you is pulling you toward them, even if there's no apparent reason. And just as you send that message or make that call, you realize something: they were thinking about you at the exact same time. There's no explanation, no prior plans made to get in touch. But the energy between you two is undeniable. This happens at the most unexpected times when you're busy with life, when things are quiet, or when you least expect it, but it's always the right moment. In these moments, it feels as though there's some invisible thread connecting you. It's not just about wanting to check in or make casual conversation. It's about feeling a need, almost like a silent call that prompts you to reach out. You might be sitting alone and suddenly, without thinking, you feel compelled to shoot them a quick text or pick up the phone to say hello. You might not even have anything specific to say, but something inside you just knows that it's time. And when they reply, or when you both engage in the conversation, it becomes clear that they too were feeling the same thing. These moments of unexpected reach-outs aren't limited to just messages or calls. Sometimes you'll find yourself thinking of something you want to share, and without any real reason or purpose, you feel drawn to send it to them. Maybe it's a song, a video, an article, or a meme that reminds you of them, and you just can't shake the feeling that they need to see it. The act itself feels like a small gesture, but in reality, it's a signal of the bond you share. It's the recognition that you both are in sync without effort, without thinking. It's the universe telling you that, even in the quietest of moments, you both are on the same wavelength, responding to the pull of each other's energy. It's these unexpected moments that often reveal the depth of your connection. You might be engaged in your day-to-day activities or lost in your thoughts, and then, out of nowhere, you sense the urge to contact them. And when you do, you realize that it's not just a random coincidence. They were waiting for you to reach out. They've been thinking about you too. This is the invisible thread that ties you together, the bond that transcends time and space. Even when you're both busy with life or caught up in other matters, there's something in the back of your mind telling you that it's time to connect. The moment you reach out, it feels right, like the universe has orchestrated this exact point in time for you to reconnect. Sometimes these reach outs go even deeper. Perhaps you haven't spoken to them in a while, and yet you feel this deep urge to contact them. It's not out of obligation or out of a sense of need, but simply because they're in your thoughts and you can't ignore the pull. It's like a magnetic force compelling you to check in, to reconnect, to share something with them. When you do, it's as if all the time apart disappears and you both fall into a rhythm that feels so natural. There's no awkwardness, no distance. It's just two people who have been on the same wavelength, even in their silence. There's a sense of peace that comes with these spontaneous moments of reaching out. It's a reminder that even when you're not in constant communication, the connection remains strong. You don't need to be constantly talking or in each other's presence to feel the pull, to feel the connection. It's these moments of unexpected contact that show just how strong and real the bond between you two is. The fact that you both think about each other without prompting, without any reason other than the natural rhythm of your relationship, speaks volumes about the strength of your connection. Even when life gets busy or when distance separates you, you still find yourselves reaching out, effortlessly reminding each other that you're never truly apart. And the number 6 is time feels different when you're together. Time feels different when you're together. It's one of the most profound aspects of a connection that can't be easily explained. When you're with the person you're meant to be with, it's as if time bends, shifts, and becomes irrelevant. The hours you spend together can feel like minutes, and the minutes can feel like hours, but in the best way possible. It's as though the universe has decided that when you're together, nothing else matters, not even the ticking of the clock. This feeling, the way time seems to distort, is a clear sign that you're both fully present in each other's company, lost in the connection you share. It's not something you consciously try to do, but it's something that naturally happens when two people are deeply attuned to each other. You could be engaged in the simplest of activities, a walk in the park, a quiet conversation over coffee, or even sitting in comfortable silence, and it would feel as though time has stopped. There's no rush to move forward, no pressure to do anything but enjoy the moment. In these instances, you both realize that the passage of time has little bearing on how meaningful and fulfilling the time spent together truly is. Whether it's a short, spontaneous meeting or a long, planned-out day, when you're with them, the concept of time becomes secondary. It's not about how much time you have, but about how much quality time you share. And in those moments, you know that the connection between you two is deep, so deep that time simply doesn't matter. The beauty of this feeling is that it's not always about doing something extraordinary. It's in the mundane, everyday moments that this sense of timelessness often emerges. You could be watching a movie together, laughing at something silly, or simply enjoying each other's company without saying a word. Yet in those moments, there's a profound sense of peace and contentment. There's no need to fill the silence with words or distractions. Just being together in that moment is enough. Sometimes the opposite can happen too. You might be anticipating spending time together, and even though you're excited, the time before the meeting drags on. The minutes feel longer than they really are, and it feels like the universe is testing your patience. But as soon as you're in each other's presence, time resumes its usual pace, or rather, it doesn't matter at all. That feeling of waiting and longing is replaced by something much deeper. The recognition that the time spent together is always worth the wait. When you're apart, time can feel like it's moving in slow motion. But when you reunite, time suddenly speeds up in a way that makes everything feel right. This experience of time warping when you're together often happens because you're both so present in the moment. It's not about checking your watch or worrying about what's coming next. It's about being fully immersed in the connection you share. It's a shared experience of living in the here and now, where every second becomes an opportunity to create memories, share laughter, or simply exist alongside each other. The beauty of this shared presence is that it removes any sense of hurry. When you're together, time doesn't have to be planned or controlled. It just flows naturally, and both of you are able to enjoy every moment for what it is, free from the constraints of time. And yet, this timeless feeling isn't limited to physical proximity. Even when you're apart, you might find that time seems to behave differently when you think about them. When they're in your thoughts, even if you don't speak to them for days or weeks, it feels like the connection hasn't faded at all. Time might have passed, but it doesn't feel like it because your bond is still as strong as ever. It's as though your hearts are aligned no matter how much time has gone by. When you reunite, it feels like you just picked up where you left off, as though no time has passed at all. And yet everything feels richer, more meaningful. It's these moments of timelessness that highlight how deep your connection is. These signs are a reminder that love, friendship, and connection are not confined to what's visible or tangible. They transcend time, space, and circumstance, weaving an invisible thread that binds you in ways words can never fully capture. Whether it's a fleeting thought that turns into an unexpected message, or a dream that feels more like a reality, it's clear that both of you are constantly intertwined in a dance of shared energy, feeling each other's presence in the deepest ways. The connection is real, it's powerful, and it's a reflection of the undeniable truth that sometimes two souls are simply meant to be aligned.